What's up, everybody? My name is OMG, WTF, LOL to WBRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. We are doing the Local to Global Challenge, playing as our own created company, the IWC, the International Wrestling Corporation. And let's just go ahead and run this show. I know it's been a while since we've been here on YouTube, and I promised you guys I would try to upload more often and whatnot, but life catches up to you guys. It seems like you guys understand that, so I'm going to stop mentioning that from now on. You'll get the videos when you get the videos, pretty much, from here on out. I'm not going to make any promises from having one video up from one video. I'm just going to try my hardest to get videos out for you guys. With that being said, let's open up the show. We are in front of 92 people here in front of the good old Walmart parking lot. We open up with a 37 D- rating, as we open up with Don Arnold, the financial backer of the IWC. He's standing in the ring. He's welcoming everybody to the crowd, so let's go to him right now. Come on now, take a seat, take a seat. Let's fill up that front row here. We gotta make it look full, ladies and gentlemen. All right now, thank you all for coming out here tonight. Of course, you all know who I am. Former Arizona World Champion Don the Bomb Arnold. And speaking of champions, I'd like to take this time to bring out my nephew, the IWC Regional Champion, Mr. Jodi Arnold. And then out comes Jodi Arnold doing the typical, goody two-shoes, good guy thing. He's shaking the hands. He's smiling on his way down there. He's kissing the heads of babies. He's being the champion the IWC deserves. Anyway, he joins his uncle in the ring. And Don continues to say, "Now Jodi here is a good boy. Represents the family proud. You know, he has beaten practically everybody here in the IWC. Did you know that he has defended that there IWC regional title against the toughest and the roughest that the IWC has to offer? So much so that I myself don't see how anyone in the back, I'm messing up. So much so that I myself don't see anyone in the back who I feel deserve a shot at my nephew. Now, I know y'all were promised an IWC Regional Championship matchup here tonight, but there aren't any top contenders at the title. I hope y'all understand. There isn't anybody that Jodi hasn't beaten already. Now, don't y'all boo me. If you should boo anyone, you boo that Jerry Monty and that Alexis Smirnoff. Because if those two were able to control themselves, then one of them would be challenging for the title here tonight. But, with that being said, the title match is canceled, but my nephew has promised to stay and sign autographs for everybody here tonight. With a small fee, of course. Things aren't free. But we'll talk the details later. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on with the show." And then off screen we hear an unfamiliar voice, and he's like, "Now hold on just a minute. Did I hear that right? Did you say that there were no credible challengers for the IWC regional title? Well, if that's just not the case, not when the marvelous Morocco is in town." And I imagine like the curtains open or whatnot, and there's the marvelous Morocco standing there. The way I'm kind of making him sound and portraying him makes me feel like he's kind of like, that star, like the circus jockey or whatever they are, like the star of the show, like the one that's introducing everybody. I don't know the word, but yeah. So he stands there looking all fancy, the curtains all open. And Don Arnold, he looks, he goes, "Yeah, look here, Morocco. I know you're great and all. I signed you for crying out loud. But you haven't even had one match here in the IWC. What makes you think you're ready for my nephew? And, of course, a shot at the IWC Regional Championship." "Oh, Donnie boy, I don't think I know. I didn't come here to play wrestler like everyone else in the back. The marvelous Morocco doesn't wait in lines. You signed me for a reason, Donnie boy. You wanted a credible challenger? Well, how about a marvelous challenger?" And that's when the champion steps up and he goes, "You know what? I accept." Yo, what? Jodi, what in tarnation do you think you're doing? I don't like how this city slicker is talking fancy, Unc. Besides, we promised these good people a title bout here tonight, and that's just what they're gonna get. Marvelous. I'll see you all later tonight then, champ. And that sets up our main event tonight. The Marvelous Morocco set to make his IWC debut here tonight, despite, of course, Alexis Smirnoff and Jerry Monty ending in a no contest from last month. They were supposed to determine our next challenger. Ended in no contest, so he didn't have a number one contender. Don Arnold, the financial backer, didn't feel like there was a worthy contender for the championship, but the Marvelous Morocco has kind of, I guess, politicked his way into the championship picture here tonight, as Jodi Arnold, never one to disappoint his loving and adoring fans who may or may not be turning on him. Okay. Let's go ahead and save that. Marvelous Morocco has debuted his snob gimmick. Has gotten a very good rating from it. Hell yes. Thank you very much. We got the show off. I shouldn't laugh at my own joke that bad. But I hope some of you got where that came from. If you didn't, it's okay. The angle did get the show off to a strong start. Got the crowd hotter. Unfortunately, it did lose heat for the corruption of Jodi Arnold's storyline, but Smirnoff's revenge storyline did gain heat. No worker improvements. As we move on to our next segment, we get ourselves a 26 solid E rating here. Two of our cheaper wrestlers, Don Anderson and Curtis Candy, in action here because I'm trying to save money as best as I can. So, yeah, no real storyline here. Also just a way to kind of get Don Anderson a little bit momentum on his side, since he seems like he's kind of an upstart or has a little bit more I don't know the word I'm looking for, but he just seems like he's more of a promising star, even though Curtis Candy is, I would say, a promising star as well. He's not a real person, as the game created him themselves, so I kind of have a problem pushing him right now. Maybe I'll get over that someday, because he is a real star now. Anyway, 26 solid E rating here, and about that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling to it. Don Anderson goes over Curtis Candy in 8 minutes, 7 seconds with a suplex. Oh, look at that. Don Anderson, I believe, has a, like, kind of a Avenger kind of gimmick. Not like the superhero, just more like he stands for good and won't stand for anything bad. So I guess in a way a superhero, but he's not a superhero. He's Captain America before he got the super soldier serum, I guess. And Curtis Candy is a clown. Yeah. Don Anderson was really off his game here tonight, which is unfortunate. This match did get the crowd hotter, though, which is awesome. And despite Anderson being off his game, he still outperformed Candy here tonight with a 25 in-ring performance, but only by 1 point, where Candy got a 24. No worker improvements. As we move on to our next segment, 34 E plus rating. And we got an angle here featuring the Sexy Studs and a couple of other people. Let's just jump right into it. The Sexy Studs, rockin' Robert Fuller and superstar Jimmy Snuka, make their way down to the ring, and Fuller's got a little bit more of a pip in his step here as usual. If you remember from last month, he took on the loose cannon Les Roberts, and after the match, Les Roberts took it upon himself to just whip rockin' Robert Fuller over and over again with his belt, and it looks like Robert Fuller hasn't forgotten that as he takes to the mic and immediately calls out Les Roberts. Les Roberts, you think you can whip me like I'm some jackass? Well, I'd like to see you try it again now that I've got my partner with me. Why don't you come out here and whip me now if you're so bold? And of course, Les Roberts is not one to back down from a challenge. In fact, I don't think Les Roberts thinks anything through, as the loose cannon begins to make his way out towards the ring, and he's taken off his belt. He's ready to whip Robert Fuller and most likely Jimmy Snuka again, but before he can make his way down to the ring, the Cowboy, Frank Dalton, makes a we don't get to see him too often, but he rushes out there and he tries to get in between Roberts and the ring, and he's got a mic in his mouth. He's got a mic in hand. He's like, now wait a minute there, partner. I know you ain't too bright, but you just can't go in there in a 2-on-1 situation. These boys mean business here. You're going to need yourself a partner, Les. And well, you're in luck. Just so happens that I don't care too much for this new rock and roll movement. and it's about time someone showed you two boys how to be a man. Seems to me you boys need a good ass whipping if it's up to me. And that kind of turns this into an impromptu tag team matchup as Les Roberts finds himself teaming up with Frank Dalton, who he's a good old country boy, and he ain't down for that rockin' and a rollin' music that we're hearing right now that rockin' Robert Fuller and superstar Jimmy Snuka bring to the table. Unfortunately, the superstar Jimmy Snuka is not suited to his gimmick, but what can you do? I guess that's his downfall right now. Can't change it yet, so we just got to work with it. And we go to our tag team matchup, which gets a freaking hiccups. Leave me alone. 36 D- rating here. And a decent matchup. The sexy stop it, hiccups. The sexy studs go over the team of Les Roberts and Frank Dalton in 10 minutes, 17 seconds when Rockin' Robert Fuller defeats Frank Dalton by a pinfall. Probably some teamwork maneuver there from him and Jimmy Snuka. Snuka still not suited to his gimmick. We know, TEW, we know. Jimmy Snuka does have an injury, which is unfortunate for him, I would say. And that did take a big toll on his in-ring work here tonight, although it looks like... Never mind, I was looking at the wrong people. He was the worst. Speaking of the worst, Jimmy Snuka, 29 in-ring performance. Rockin' Robert Fuller with a 36 in-ring performance. Frank Dalton, despite not being here too often, pulled out the best in-ring performance here tonight with a 39. And Les Roberts with a 37 in-ring performance. Roberts is improving in his performance skill as well, so good for him. And then we move on to our next segment here, which gets a 38 D- rating here, as Les Roberts none too happy with losing the match, or maybe, he just likes to beat up on the first person he sees. Proceeds to beat down and whip on his tag team partner of the night, Frank Dalton, with his, of course, belt. And when the referee, Bob Clay, steps in to try to, stop Les Roberts from whipping Frank Dalton, he too gets whipped. So Les Roberts not only takes out Frank Dalton, but he takes out Bob Clay, which that might not be too good because Bob Clay is our only referee. Real quick, I'm going to enter the fourth dimension here. I wanted to make sure my audio was capturing. That does go ahead and advance our storyline here, but I don't know if that's going to advance the show with our referee now taken out. We go to a 34 E+ rating as we are now ready for our main event of the night. Jodi Arnold and the Marvelous Morocco are out there, and we are getting ready for the main event. But remember, there's no referee. Of course, that's when, before the match can begin, Don Arnold takes to the mic and he makes a special announcement. He goes, "All right, boys, as you can see, our normal referee for this bout, Bob Clay, has been injured and taken out by that crazed lunatic, Les Roberts. And, well, unfortunately, we don't have any other referees. But instead of calling off this match last minute, I have instead decided to step up myself and serve as the special guest referee for this title bout." And Don Morocco is like, "You've got to be kidding me." And now, don't you worry. I'll be a fair and unbiased referee. All right, boys, let's have ourselves a good fight, all right? And he rings the bell, and we have our match. So I guess Don Arnold, a man of many hats, kind of serves as the president right now, while Jodi Arnold is reigning as the champion. That way there isn't any, I guess, unfairness happening, although it still feels a little unfair with Arnold being, the uncle to Jodi Arnold, but nonetheless. And he also is the financial backer, and now with Bob Clay being taken out by that crazy lunatic Les Roberts, Don Arnold's words, not mine, looks like he's going to serve as the referee for this bout. He could have just called it off, but, we already almost called off one title bout. Best not disappoint the fans. I think this is a good call on Don Arnold, even though it looks like there may be some hidden agenda here. The Marvelous Morocco is getting better at his gimmick, so that's promising, I guess. And we go on to our main event of the night, which is for the IWC Regional Championship. 39 D- rating here. And a decent matchup. Jodi Arnold indeed beats the Marvelous Morocco after 13 minutes, 24 seconds by pinfall while using the ropes for leverage. Did I book that? Ignore that. No ropes on the leverage. Jodi Arnold didn't cheap, but what I will say is Don Arnold here, the referee for the fight, did a fast count, one of those quick, not maybe a 1, 2, 3, but a 1, 2, 3. One of those quick ones, real quick. And I would say maybe the Marvelous Morocco kicked out. And even though we're not ending the show that way, I would also say that maybe the show ends with the Marvelous Morocco kind of putting a little bit of an argument while Don Arnold insists that Jodi Arnold is the winner as he races his nephew's arm in victory. The Marvelous Morocco with an in-ring performance of a 31 for his first match. Good showing in my opinion. Jodi Arnold with a 43. He's getting better. No worker improvements for this matchup as we end off the show. We get ourselves a 36 D- rating here. Apparently we used Marvelous Morocco far too much in the show, but it did increase our popularity in one region, so I don't care. Let's look at who should be getting the well, I guess Jodi and the Marvelous Morocco should of course get the praise. But maybe someone like Frank Dalton as well, because he was the best in his match. So we'll go Jodi, give him some encouragement, the Marvelous Morocco, and Frank Dalton. Yeah, I like that. Jodi was pleased, Morocco seemed pleased, and Frank Dalton seemed pleased. Good stuff. Alright, this is that part of the video that I love, where my audio sometimes desyncs from the video, considering that I think this loading screen thing lags it behind. So fair warning to those of you out there, my audio may be a little behind. I'm well aware of it. I don't know a way around it right now. I think it just comes down to the fact that this is what I like to call a crap top, and well, sometimes it goes beyond its abilities. It tries for us. So, but I am going to go ahead and I want to look at a few things. I don't really know exactly what I want to look at, but I kind of just want to look at the finances and see how much in a hole we are going to be in here. And yeah. Oh, cool. It's safe because I ran out of things to say there. So apparently we got a new champion somewhere in MVP, the MVP. Look at that. Feedback has been very positive. Gotta love that. I'm not really sure why I'm looking at all this. I guess I've been playing too much of the MMA game where I look at all the news. Ooh, Ron Miller got a contract offer from the JWA. It's probably going to be a written, so he's going to have to drop all his titles here for no freaking reason, and then they're going to release him in like a day or two. That's usually how it works with the JWA. They never keep people around long term. Look at all the people that are mad at us because we don't book them. Look, Ripper Savage over here. I was left off the September show, the June show, July, and the May show. I think that's bullcrap. Well, I can't have everybody on the card at the same time, Ripper. I'm sorry. Look, I'm losing money every week or every month. Although we are on an uprise, or on the rise now. The economy is on a rise, I should say, at least. The 29 solid E in rising, so hopefully it'll rise here soon. I'd like a little bit more of a paycheck, and the wrestling industry is falling. Okay, what did I want to look at? The finances. That's what I want to look at, and then maybe we'll look at some popularity swings, see if anything's happened here. So our finances right now, so we're 3,000 in the hole, and we've only been getting around 2,500, and it's been dipping every time. We did get a little bit more in ticket sales that time, but yeah, we're most likely losing money again this month, which that's no good, but what can you do? You just got to keep on trucking. So let's look at Rockin' Robert Fuller here, see if he lost, so that might have affected it. I don't think it'll affect it too much. 16, is that set? Yeah. That freaking red is so dark.